What's up, Ern? This is Prima with the Just Prima Show. Have you gone through life being unauthentic, not really knowing what works for you, not certain which direction you should go when you're trying to figure out life? You have so many obstacles, you have so many challenges, tests, ups and downs, but there is no peace. There is no help, no support, no place that feels like home, and you feel like you might be losing your mind or feel like I've stated before that, God, this must be a misfire. This was not for me. This is Prima. There must be some confusion. If you've ever felt any of those ways, please stay tuned as I share tonight to thine own self be true. The things that I have done to help me get through life to make me show up as I show up today. We'll be back in a moment.
Tune in. If you think you knew me, you didn't really know it all. I've been through my shared struggles and I'm still here standing tall. Never the type to fold. If I fall, I wouldn't fear. I'm giving you all of me. This my blood, love, and tears. If you think you knew me, you didn't really know it all. I've been through my shared struggles and I'm still here standing tall. Never the type to fold. If I fall, I wouldn't fear. I'm giving you all of me. This my blood, love, and tears.
All right, y'all. Tonight I have a special guest with me that I want to share with you. Her name is Goddess Anika. I met her at a metaphysical store here in the Atlanta area. She was teaching a feminine alchemy class. When I arrived at the class, I did not know what to expect. I walked into a room. There were lots of women. I was nervous. I was excited. I had lots of anticipation. Of course, I know alchemy is to take one thing from a lower form to develop it to a better form or to a higher form. So I kind of got that, but I did not know exactly what to expect. I wasn't certain if I was going in there to do magic. I didn't know if I was going in there to actually make something with my hands from one form to another form. I just wasn't certain. But I was excited. I felt drawn to the description of the class. I felt like I was in a place that I needed to do something with my feminine energy. And to my surprise, it was much more than that. It was so exciting. It felt like home. It felt like I had known the ladies in there forever, but especially that I had known Goddess Anika. She has become my friend, my confidant, my encourager. I appreciate the relationship that I have with her. Since meeting her, I have gone to not only the feminine transformation classes at this metaphysical store, I have also signed up for some of her classes, which one is PPP. One is also CIS, which is an organization that she kind of put together, or I would say a gathering group of young ladies where we all, well, not young ladies, women, we all get together and we read books. We come up with different principles. Well, we use different principles that she introduces to us. We also facilitate these monthly meetings amongst ourselves. She has gotten us to facilitate ourselves so that she is, I want to say, like mentoring so that women can go do some of the same things that she was encouraged or blessed or purposed to do. So with that, I'm not going to tell you everything about her because I want to share her with you. So right now I'm going to introduce Goddess Anika, also known as the Pussy Prophet, and have her to first come on, introduce herself in her words. And my first question for her is going to be, what made you start the feminine empowerment work that you do? So welcome, Goddess Anika.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me, Goddess Prima. I love you and appreciate you so much. So that is a rich question. And I started this work because mainly I am a licensed ordained minister, and I was in the church for many, many years. I used to preach in the pulpit. People would call me the walking word because I knew the Bible from Genesis to Revelations. And before I became a minister, I used to work in different strip clubs around the metro Atlanta area. And my mama used to pray for my salvation. She used to be on her knees praying for my deliverance and pleading the blood of Jesus over me. And finally, I surrendered because, usually when you work in that industry, you have different experiences. And my experience is different from other women who worked in the clubs. So eventually I got tired because that life has an expiration date and all kind of things. And I got saved and I started going to church, and I became a missionary and went to Africa and did all these things, got ordained, licensed and everything. And so while I was in the church, I felt like there was something missing. So I left the church, I want to say back in 2008. At that time, I was an active member of World Changers Church International under Pastor Creflo Dollar. And I had an experience there at that church, which really led me to leave. It was really under the inspiration of that experience where I knew that there was something else that I needed to know and learn. I knew that what I needed, because at the time I felt like Jesus was all I need. All I need was the word of God, just Jesus, 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 and I'm good. But when I had the experience at World Changers Church International, I knew that there was something, and I just didn't know what it was. And so in 2012, I got divorced from a emotionally abusive man. And I had some not so good experiences with him. But needless to say, after a traumatic divorce, at the same time, I lost my father, who died in 2012 when I was going through the divorce. I lost my job, had to move out of my house. I had all these different experiences that was just overwhelming for me, needless to say. And I found myself coping with these experiences with drugs, with antidepressants and sleeping pills and all of that. Because at the time I knew that, just pray about it. That wasn't doing it for me. Just talk to the Lord about it. That wasn't doing it for me. Pray and fast, child. That's all you need to do is pray and fast and believe God for your deliverance and your healing. That wasn't doing it for me. So after just praying and asking to be delivered from these pills, I had an experience again where after my divorce was finalized, my mom reached out to my high school sweetheart. And my high school sweetheart, she told him, she was like, Anika got divorced. Anika got divorced, so she's free. So I was living in Chicago, and he came out there and met with me for my birthday. And we had this amazing experience. And we were just like, why did we not get together then? And now we know it wasn't the time back then, because timing, divine timing is everything. And so my birthday is in September, and we spent time together. And long story short, we were married the next month over in October. And so we've been married now for 10 years. And we celebrate our 10-year wedding anniversary in October of this year. And so he is my twin flame. He is the one who holds the space for me to do this work. And so when we got married, I was still dealing with this addiction to pills. And I was like, how can I get off? And he really was trying his best to support me in getting off the pills. But it was something in me where I felt that I needed them. And I guess he was praying for me too. And so one day I remember sitting on my porch and I was looking up at the sky and I was praying and asking God, like, I don't want to be this woman anymore. And I heard myself ask myself, well, what type of woman do you want to be?
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't know. Do I want to be a queen? Do I want to be a priestess? Do I want to be a goddess? And that word, goddess, really resonated with me. And so I started learning all I could about goddess energy. And at first, I saw like all these images of, um, really no women of color at all. They were women who didn't look like me. Um, that was like, had all the long hair and, the real small bodies and the big breasts and all this kind of stuff. That was the image of goddess that they were putting out there. And I started to pray and ask spirit, like, what is truly the goddess? What is it? Because it's not what I'm seeing online and in my research. And what was revealed to me is that the essence of a goddess or a goddess minded woman is a woman who has intimacy with the feminine aspect of God. And all my life, even when I was a little girl, I used to go to church. And then when I became a licensed ordained minister, we were always taught that, God was a he. And I never really saw many instances of the feminine in the Bible. And when there was parts of the feminine in the Bible, Esther, she had a small little piece, but all of the books in the Bible are all mainly masculine. And then when they would talk about women, it would be really small parts, like Mary Magdalene had a small part and Leah and Rachel had small parts. It was always a minimalization of the feminine. And I know that the Bible says that God is everything, and if God is everything, God is male and female, masculine and feminine. And I was like, you know, if God is everything, where is the feminine? And the word says that let us make God and let us make man in our image. So that to me, that indicated in our image and likeness. So if God is everything, God is also telling me that in this feminine embodiment that I am an image and likeness of God, which is for me also feminine. So I do believe in the masculine aspect of God. And I also believe in the feminine aspect of God, which is goddess. And I didn't really fully understand how to be a woman until I left the church. I was a very masculine female in the church. Everything I did was based on a masculine paradigm. I had no one, my mother didn't teach me how to be a woman. The church didn't teach me how to be a woman. The Bible didn't tell me how to be a woman. I had to learn when I left the church how to be a woman. And the way that I learned how to be a woman was by developing and cultivating intimacy with the feminine aspect of God. And that's what supported me in learning about pleasure and bliss and sensuality and, nourishment and being delicious and sensual and sexual. That's what taught me about being a woman.
Mhm.
That's what taught me about really owning my orgasms and softening myself. Because as a masculine woman, I was always hurried and, go, 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 do, run, hurry, and I was harsh and critical and judge. Not saying that that's the masculine way, but what I'm saying is that's how I was as a woman. I didn't understand the importance of the softness of a woman. I had to teach myself. And as a result of that, I knew that if I had to learn how to be a woman, even though I was in the church, that there may be other women with a need also to learn how to deepen their awareness of owning their sensuality and their sexuality, and finding enjoyment in being a woman. And the last thing I want to say about finding enjoyment in being a woman was, for years I despised my menstrual cycle. For years I thought it was an inconvenience and something to be despised, and I felt like it was despicable and nasty, because that's one of the conditionings that the world gives us, that the woman's blood is nasty and it stinks and it's fishy and it's terrible and it's awful. But the thing about it is, many people don't understand that menstrual blood is sacred. It's the woman who bleeds every month and not die. It's the woman who, through her menstrual cycle, can hold the space to give birth to a baby and push the baby out and then bring the baby to her breast and feed it. It's the woman, it's the feminine who has that type of power. And this world, this Western culture in which we live, have conditioned us to minimize the feminine aspect of God, to see the feminine aspect of God as, useless, or and make her invisible, as if she doesn't matter. The Great Mother is here now and asking women to step into their sovereignty, to realize it's a blessing to be a woman. It's millions of people who are out here now, born male, and are transitioning into being a woman because they understand the power of the feminine. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing about it is that until we all get together collectively and establish collective consciousness and an awareness of the power of the feminine, we will continue to see, her being diminished and dehumanized and all these different things. So, women who are attracted to what I have to offer are women who desire owning their power and sovereignty as a woman. There are women who want to bring forth the awareness of the feminine aspect of God. These are women who understand the blessing to be in intimacy with the Great Mother. They honor Mother Nature, all of these things. And so it is my hope and my intent, being here tonight, that there may be some women who may resonate with what I'm saying and feel called to connect, because I love people, period. I'm here to serve. And I really love women. We it's so much wounding in the community of women, so much competition, so much comparison, so much envy and jealousy. But one of the things that the Great Mother tell us is to love yourself exactly as you are, and to embrace your own uniqueness, your own radiance, not when you lose 20 pounds, not when you get a butt lift, not when you get a tummy tuck, but love yourself now. And once you begin to reverence and adore and appreciate the essence of her within you, within the woman, then you will no longer continue to second guess yourself and diminish the sovereignty that you have within, because you know she dwells within you. And until women receive that awareness, it will always be the cattiness and the pettiness and the backbiting and all of that, the backstabbing in the community of women. So I'm looking to connect with women who have a desire to heal that in the community of women, especially in the community of women of color, because we,
Mm-hmm.
our history with slavery and disconnection. So I want all women to, to, connect with me or whatever. But, you know, women of color, I am really calling you out to holla at your girl, because I'm going to love you and I'm going to love you hard.
What's up, It's Prima with the Just Prima Show. I look forward to seeing you every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Search Just Prima, JUST or Caribbean Life TV as I share my blood, love, and tears. See you then. So that leads me to my next question. That is, you briefly touched on being yummy and delicious and sensual and loving ourselves just as we are and embracing our femininity. And you started another organization, or your title, the Pussy Prophet, and I wanted to know what that entailed, what what women you're drawing, what women you're drawing with that particular ministry, I would say, and that helping women. And I'm gonna say for myself, a woman, I think I'm kind of sexual or sensual, but in intimate situations, I haven't always been, based on things that happened in my past, of course. So, in going through the class and reading the books that we read in the group, they were very eye opening, and I'm okay having conversations, but to and when you're in the bedroom and you're learning, and also having people around you, or a partner, and like the group with us women talking, it's important to have certain partners so that you're able to embrace that deliciousness, that yumminess, that sensuality, and sexuality, and feeling free in that. So I do want you to touch on that, since you are the pussy prophet.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that question. You asked really delicious questions, Goddess Prima. Yes, because you are a sensual woman. And thank you for that. Well, prophet, I came up, well, it was nothing that I came up with. The Holy Spirit gave me the pussy prophet. When you look up the word prophet, it means teacher, an inspired teacher. And a lot of people don't know that. So some people may be thrown off by the word prophet. So my intent is to teach women about their pussy. And I abbreviate pussy as powerful, unique, sacred, sensual, and yummy. So pussy is an acronym for that. So in the program, the Pampered Pussy Project is designed to reconnect women with their power, because a lot of women lose themselves in relationships with other people. They lose themselves in their children, on their, with jobs. They just tend to lose themselves, and a lot of times they become overworked. They become over responsible. Then they over care. They do all of these, and then they get overwhelmed and they get depleted because they're over giving to so many other people, and then a lot of times forget to give and nurture themselves. And so a lot of women get burned out and depleted because of the overgiving. So it's designed for women to reclaim their power. And also it's intended for women to also step into the awareness of their own uniqueness. My thing is that, when you understand just how uniquely radiant and beautiful you are, you don't have to compete or compare yourself to any other woman.
Mhm.
It's like a sunflower and a rose trying to compete and compare themselves. They're both flowers, but they're uniquely beautiful in different ways. And so you're not going to have the rose being jealous of the sunflower, or the sunflower being jealous of the rose, because they're both beautiful. But this Western culture have conditioned us to compete and compare, and I think about beauty pageants where if it was the young lady or the woman who was the most beautiful, or the skinniest or the smartest or whatever, it was always a competition. And so we've been programmed to believe that, femininity is something to be competed and compared. But it's not. I feel like that's ridiculous, because when you really know just just how amazing you are and how beautiful you are, you know that there's nobody that can compare with you, because you are only you,
Absolutely.
a divine individualized expression of God. You. And with the sacredness, one of the things about sacred is really seeing and owning your own divinity, knowing that you are divine and human. And a lot of times we get so caught up in just being human in this third dimensional reality that we forget that we are divine. And so I support women in bringing back the awareness and remembrance that we are sacred. And when we know that we're sacred, we don't allow certain people to invade our personal space, to invade our minds, our bodies. We don't do that because we know who we are. You know, we own our worth, we own our value, we speak our truth, we set clear boundaries. We all of that is a part of sacredness and sensuality. You know, most of the time, most women are always on the go, that we are not present. We're not in the present moment. We're so focused on what's next. What's next? Okay, I already done paid the bills. Now I gotta go home and wash the dishes. Gotta wash the clothes. Gotta take care of the kids. Gotta go to work. Gotta have sex with my man. Gotta do this. You know, what's next? What's next? Instead of be here now. And so sensuality is so important for women to slow down so that you can savor the beauty of the present moment. So sensuality is really, to me, the gateway to divinity. When a woman can really be a sensual woman and really smell the roses, not just see the roses and then keep it moving. Take time, look at the rose, smell the rose, honor the rose. I don't know if I'm making sense, but you know, sensual. Taste your food. Don't just put it in your mouth and swallow it down. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Right.
Prima, we talk about, you know, when we lotion and moisturize our body, you know, don't just be slapping lotion and moisturize. Allow yourself the spaciousness, the time, because you are worth your own time and energy. You are worth it. Like L'Oreal say, I'm worth it. You're worth it. Take the time to, you know, nourish your body. Put the lotion on yourself slowly. Smell the lotion. You know, when you put it on your hands, look at your hands. Some of us don't even know what our hands look like or our feet look like because we just always rushing, you know. So, and then yummy, you know, just um, making sure that we take care of our bodies so that when we do engage in the beauty of intimacy with another person, that we are delicious and yummy to them. So the Pr1ma project is grounded in love, first off. Is grounded in love, and we journey together for 3 months, and we do deep, intense study of self and study of love of self. We work really intently with the heart chakra, because a lot of women hearts are closed due to being rejected or abandoned or physical abuse or grief, whatever. We work on opening up the heart like a rose, and once the heart is open, it is the woman is able to receive, because a lot of women have problems and difficulty receiving, and part of that difficulty of receiving is because of a closed heart. And the archetype that we work with is Goddess Oshun. And so Goddess Oshun is a goddess of love who's associated with beauty and sensuality and fertility and abundance and wealth and opulence and contentment and gratitude and intimacy and, you know, all these things. Goddess Oshun is she's a Orisha of the Yoruba tradition in West Africa. And so we will be using her as the catalyzer for us to step into deeper levels of love. So once we really learn how to make love to ourselves first, because that's what the Pamper Pussy Project is about, learning how to make love to yourself first, and not just, you know, getting a toy and a vibrator trying to, you know, trying to have orgasm. It's about deep intimacy with yourself. And once you learn how to cultivate deep intimacy with yourself, learn more, discover more about yourself, then you will be able to pleasure yourself first. And once you're able to do that with yourself, by yourself, then that opens up the space for you to deepen into intimacy with someone else.
I'm Prima with the Just Prima Show. Join me on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. as I unapologetically tell you my story through my eyes, giving you my blood, love, and tears. Tune in. Stay true to you. You see, I have on my green. I already said it, you know, but I have on my green for my heart chakra. You'll see my shoes and feet later. But yeah, green, my heart chakra. So that is that. Um, Something that I thought about also while you were sharing that I did enjoy was when you were saying how we over women, sometimes women we overgive, we overdo, we go, 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 go. I did enjoy the swamping that we do, like to release energy, with the music. So I would like you to touch on that briefly. I also enjoyed when you were talking about boundaries, there was one thing that stood out for me where, and I mentioned it on the show prior to, that I said, I apologize for giving you the impression that it was okay to do blah, 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 blah. That was one principle that I also learned being in the feminine alchemy class because it allowed me to not be a tyrant, I guess, as much in my frustration when people violated or when people did things they should not have done, and particularly family members. And it allowed me to have control. And I would like for you to also briefly share about the stop principle that you came up with that also helped me to not just react in situations. For a long time I've been aware of responding to situations versus reacting. However, probably handling that more in a masculine way, and I feel like in me taking authority back and me apologizing in the offense. I apologize if I give you the impression. So that's more feminine. So it has helped me along the way. And I would like for you to, I said, a few of the things that I have learned and principles that I use. So I would like for you to brief on those and share the stop principle and share the book that you came up with your stop principle.
Okay. So yeah, with alchemy, it's about transforming, as you mentioned, transforming one form of something, a lesser form of something, into a higher form. So with the offerings that I provide to women, the intent is to transform lower vibrational energies into higher vibrational energies, meaning that when women come to me and they're dealing with issues that may be considered of lower frequency, such as bitterness, resentment, shame, guilt, grief, closed heartedness, things of that sort, then I provide tools and practices for women to transform and alchemize those energies into higher frequencies, such as love and joy and bliss and forgiveness, all of those things. So when you talk about swamping, um, I have several teachers that I learned from, and so the swamping is where we use our bodies to move and dance, and we move those lower vibrational energies out of our bodies through movement, because it's movement of the bodies that allow us to reshape the atoms and cells and molecules in our being. And so there's this one woman, I forgot her name, it's Catherine something, but this was a woman who had cancer, and she was going through her chemo treatments and things of this sort, but then she started dancing every day. I think she danced every day for like 6 months or something like that. I'm not sure how long it was. I need to find it and give it to you, Prima, because I can't remember. But she danced for like, I want to say 6 months straight. And as a result of her dancing and moving energy throughout her body, she was able to be cured of cancer. And so swamping is what I learned from one of my teachers. We call her Mama Gina. And she taught me about, that practice of when I'm experiencing rage and anger or shame or sadness or grief, I can move that energy out of my body, move it until I release something in my body, and where I'm able to let it go and be free of the feeling of it. And a lot of times we don't want to spiritually bypass these emotions. We want to be in the emotions. We want to feel them because you can't heal if you don't feel. You know what I'm saying? You can't heal if you don't feel. So it's important that you feel what's going on with you and you acknowledge what's going on with you, but you don't have to stay in the pit. You don't have to stay there. You realize and recognize, okay, I'm feeling this kind of way, but I provide the tool of swamping and other tools for if you want to move away from feeling those feelings and emotions. You recognize them, but you can use the movement of the body to move you into a different way of feeling, a better feeling place. And Abraham and Esther Hicks, they often talk about, in order for you to manifest and experience, radical manifestations, that you have to feel good. So you can't bring forth the abundance and all these things in your life if you're in the pit. And when I talk about being in the pit, I'm talking about, being in those really dark places and staying there. And again, it's not about not being in the dark place, because there is darkness and light, and there's healing that comes from the darkness, but you have to acknowledge the darkness and be willing to come out of the darkness so that you can transcend into the light, if that makes sense. And swamping is something that you can do to feel better and move into that light space. And then you also talked about boundaries. When you establish clear, firm boundaries, I feel that you are becoming a friend to yourself, because oftentimes, I believe it was Maya Angelou who said that we teach people how to treat us.
Correct.
And if you continuously allow people to overstep your boundaries and you don't enforce them, then you're giving them the green light to continuously overstep those boundaries. And so, one of the things that we do in our community is that we learn how to establish clear, firm boundaries in a loving way, so that people understand and know what they can and cannot do. And you don't give them the green light to treat you like you're a doormat. You don't give them the green light to just believe and think that they can just treat you any kind of way, because you've told them, this is what I would tolerate and what I would not tolerate. And if you continue to do what I've asked you not to do, then these are the consequences of what will happen as a result of your disrespect. And if they continue to cross those lines and those boundaries, you enforce what you said and you leave, or do whatever you feel like you need to do to let them know that you're serious about those boundaries. And once people understand, like, oh, I'm not even gonna call Anika because I know that she ain't even with that foolishness, they'll begin to learn how to teach you, because you're training them. And so if you have a history of allowing people to just walk all over you and talk to you any kind of way, one of my other teachers, she gave us this phrase that you could say, well, I apologize for giving you the impression that it was okay for you to do this to me, but going forward from this day, these are the rules of how we're going to proceed. And if you continue to overstep those rules, this will be the consequence of that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, setting clear boundaries is a form of self-care, because I promise you, if you do not set those boundaries, you will most of the time be, violated, disrespected, diminished, all of those things, because people will not recognize your worth, because you may not be recognizing your worth, because you're not owning the essence of who you are by seeing that, hey, I matter and I am worth something and I'm worthy. And because I honor and know who the hell I am, I will refuse to allow you to disrespect me this way. So setting boundaries is definitely a form of self-care. Now, the stop
The stop
principle.
principle. I want you to do the
Yeah.
stop principle. Tell them about where they can find your book. Go over the stop principle. And for to be mindful of our time, I just want you to briefly say, from the meeting point of me and the transformation process that you see to this point. And then we're going to wrap up this interview.
This has been so good.
I know
So
it
the
has.
stop principle was is a book that you can get on Amazon. It is a an ebook that's only $4.44, and it's abbreviated for slow down, slow down and soften. I just added the soften part. So slow down and soften. Take a breath. Observe what's going on within you, and then pause before you proceed. And I came up with this because I am a recovering rushaholic. And what I mean by that is that I was a woman who would just rush, 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 rush brushing my teeth, rush taking my shower, rushing in my car, speeding, 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 rush, hurrying, hurrying, a hurryaholic. And what I realized is that because I was moving so fast, that I was missing out on my life. I couldn't even enjoy the present moment because I was so focused on hurrying and rushing from this point to get to the next point. And then, by the time I realized it, it's the end of the day. And I don't even remember. I'm like, what I did, what I do last year, what I do last month, what I do last week. And then a lot of times I can't even remember what I've done because I've rushed my life away. So the stop principle gives you the practices on ultimately how to step into your sensual sovereignty. Because once you slow down, I mean, really slow down everything on purpose. Slow down how you speak, slow down how you eat, slow down even with your love making. Allow it to just be something that's pleasurable and blissful. Slow down everything.
Hmm.
And when you slow down, allow your body to soften and relax. Relaxation is a powerful principle for manifestation as well. But if you're always so tensed and rigid, and there's no space within your being to bring forth the blessings of God.
Hmm.
So slowing down and softening, and then taking a breath. One of the things we practice a lot in our communities is breathing in and breathing out, and being slow with that. And once you're able to take a breath in, observe what's going on in your mind. Notice the thoughts that's going on with your mind. How are you thinking? Are you thinking thoughts that serve you? Are you thinking thoughts that are self-sabotaging? What's going on in your head, and what's going on in your body? How are you feeling in your body? Are you dehydrated? Do you need to nourish yourself with water? Are you sleepy? Do you need to take a nap? It allows you to be tapped in and turned on and tuned into the wisdom of your body when you observe what's happening. And then once you slow down and soften and breathe and observe, then you pause for a moment before you proceed out in life. And
Hmm.
this is so important before you have conversations with people, before you send a text message, before
Hmm.
you send an email. It allows you to just stop before you react and say something that you regret, or make a choice that you end up hating that you made. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it supports you in making self-supportive choices in your life by just stopping. And the book is amazing. You all will love it. It's an easy to read book. It's only like maybe 40 pages, if that. So it's a small read. And going into like how I met Prima at the beginning, when Prima came to my workshop, she's already just full of life and light and beauty. And so when she came in, she had this presence that was undeniable. And when I was, facilitating, she was there. She had her notebook and she was just taking notes. It was like she was hungry and thirsty, like she was parched, and she was just taking it all in. Just it was like it was so good. She was just eating it up. Like, where have you been all my life? And everything I was saying, it really resonated with her. And so not only did she, just listen and write things down, Prima actually put the systems in place that I delivered through my workshops. And she actually practiced what I preach, the principles and the tools that I provide. Prima has implemented them into her life. And as a result, this show is a manifestation of it. I've seen Prima unfold and blossom like a flower. I've seen, like the petals opening up like a lotus flower, where maybe it was closed a little bit, but then it just opened up and just bloomed. I've seen her where at one point she may have reacted a certain way, but now I see where she slowed down and she stopped and she listens. She listens, and that's one of the things of feminine energy, is just taking the time to just slow down and listen to your heart, and be attuned to your intuitive wisdom to see how to proceed next. And so I know from experience with Prima and how she deals with people, because she is a beautiful people person. She never meets a stranger. The way that she deals with people is from a place of pure open-heartedness and wisdom. And I believe that that has come from her being dedicated and committed to herself by integrating and implementing the tools that she received from me and other sources, and actually have become an embodiment of the knowledge that she's received. And now she is the walking wisdom of that. And I'm honored.
And so am I. I want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming on the show, sharing the gifts that you've been blessed with, sharing all the tools that you, not all of them, but some of the tools that you have to offer women across the world that will help not only the women, but their families also. And with that, we're going to be back in a moment. Hi, it's Prima. I'm here to. I don't want to do that one. Never mind. See, I said I need my head right. I know. Shit. It's Prima with the Just Prima show. In my previous shows, I shared parts of me, my blood, love, and tears, indirectly, people telling you about me, how I show up, and who I am. Also, we had my friend here, Rosolo the Phoenix, with Caribbean Life TV, that was able to interview you. In my previous shows, you've heard who I am through my yes or damn no. You see it before it start rolling? Just count. Okay, we'll wipe this away. Count. Okay.
I ain't gonna let you get all the way through.
That's good. I appreciate it. My lips look shiny now. Instagram, YouTube, and any other thing they got out there. I don't damn know. I think you're wasting video. I'm gonna have to get me some other impromptu help. I will unapologetically no. Cut it. Cut it. Cut it. Why are you stop? Why are you still looking at me? I'm gonna stop. I'm starting over. It's Prima with the Just Prima show. Cut it. No, not yet. Yes. You mean like 2 seconds. Okay, come on. Come on.
Oh, that's
Okay. Don't I sound better?
Yeah.
See, it's turned down so low. Okay, something went wrong. I'm back. My next guest is someone that when I first met her, it was like love at first sight. I met her at work. I was working, and it was like she was a familiar spirit. Our energy just meshed from the beginning. It was a pleasure. She said that my energy felt familiar to her as well, and it was like we were from the same tribe. And since then, that's been about 2 years ago, we've been like good old friends. Like we've known each other forever. In our personal, outside of the work environment, she is a energy practitioner, and how I've experienced her is her doing Reiki healing on me. I have done it in the past, but doing it with her and her working with my energy field is like none other. She uses healing crystals. She's used cards. She has been able to, I would say, reach over to the other side and reveal certain things that I didn't even tell her. So it was amazing. It's amazing every time I get with her. So without further ado, I want to introduce her. Her name is Miss D. Smith, and I'm going to have her to share with you what it is that she does, the difference in the Eastern culture versus the Western culture that we're in, how she started, and later on she will tell you how you can find her. So, Miss Smith, welcome to the Just Prima show and thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I am so pleased and delighted to be here and to be in your presence.
Likewise.
Yes, Premier is a sister from another mother. She has that energy, and like she said, when we met, it was just like, oh, I know her. I felt it, and it was wonderful. I felt the energy.
Yes.
So, what I do energy medicine work, and it's called a lot of things. Reiki is the Eastern name. I am a Reiki master. What that means is I can actually teach classes and give the information away. I feel that more people that have the skills could heal more. So, I'm about healing the world, about sharing. In the East, they work with primarily, let me see if I can show you. I have a little chart, little skeleton here. Those are the meridians, and I work in that sometimes, but not all the time. But in the Eastern culture, they work in them all the time. They have five elements that they work within. We have four. We basically do the earth, wind, fire, and air. They do mostly and work in the wood, metal, air, and earth elements. That's the difference. When I have a client, I'm going to always check the chakras. I'm going to show you a chart. This is what they look like on the inside of you. If you can see this chart right here,
Yes.
you have the first chakra and the color that is related to, and each color has a vibration. Okay, so you have the red for the first one. The second one is orange. The orange chakra. Let's go back. The first one is the um, the root chakra, and that's your foundation. That's before you were 7 years old, the things you were told, what you learned. The second one is your creative chakra. That's the color related to that is orange, and it's about creativity and also nourishment. The third one is your
Okay.
intuitive. You know, if you ever had that gut feeling, well, that's your third chakra talking to you. That color is yellow. Your heart chakra is your fourth chakra. Color related to that is green, and basically it's about love. Fifth chakra is in your throat. Okay, that's your power center, the power of the spoken word. It's really important. That's why I chose to wear blue around my throat tonight. Just, and I got laughers on, just to have a little bit more power.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, your seventh chakra is at the crown, the top of your head. And that's how I actually work. When I start a session, I pray. I ask the Spirit to, and I ask God to be with us, and that He send His angels, His guides, and that He use me the way that He would like to use me. I also pray that the clients' guides show up too. So I open up my crown chakra and I allow the light to come in and through. Sometimes we have spirits that will come through that want to deliver a message. Not always, but a lot of times I've been able to just interpret what they want you to know. Um, and that's been really, really fun. Then, of course, we have energy fields around us. We're just not this body. We have four energy fields. We have the physical, we have the mental, we have the emotional, and then we have the spiritual. And that looks pretty much like this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So when I get into the energy fields, I use my energy to align with your energy, and the healing process starts. Believe it or not, the body's you know that the body is very, very intelligent. So
Mm-hmm.
the body knows when I'm doing chakra work. Your chakra know when I'm in that field. Okay, and so it will align. When we go into the spiritual realm, that's the most powerful realm of all with the healing session for me. That's where most of the work is done, and I say that for last. uh, it's because it is so powerful and so complete. It's like the icing on the cake,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. Um, the work has been around for a long time. Um, Back in the 1800s, in the Chinese medicine, they start doing the energy work, Qigong. All of those are different techniques of doing the work. When I met Premium, uh, the work that we did on her was just minimum, but she allowed me to go into her energy field, and we start balancing. You know, she was already balanced, but you can always be balanced just a little bit more. I tell people my work is not the healing work as much as it is allowing you the space in your head to heal yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Once you have that silence, once you can hear from the divine source, once you're able to connect and know how to heal yourself, that's when the healing starts. Sometimes it's instant, sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes, my clients will come and they don't need to come anymore. And then sometimes I would want to see a client at least 3 or 4 times just to get them balanced.
So, what made you go into the healing work?
I have always wanted to be a healer, literally. When I was a little girl, my mother, and this is way back, I'm going to take you back to the early 50s, okay? That's when the doctors were making house calls. And I think her doctor was Dr. Smith came in, and she had had an accident. So he came to the house to get her blood test because she was a beautician and she had to have blood to submit, okay, for her license. And I went, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. And when I felt that energy, it was so good. But then she had those veins, like my veins was crawling, and he kept sticking her. I went, nope, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be a teacher. And so that was the second thing. Actually, now I'm doing both. But that was the beginning of it. And then my aunt was a spiritual healer and she was a minister. And of course, we went to her church twice a week, and we had the drums and stuff and the healing line. So it was really easy for me to acclimate that into my lifestyle. I wanted to be certified. I just didn't want to be a healer. I want to be a certified healer. And so
Mm-hmm.
I went to White Wind Institute, and they had a class called, and it was a year class, a certification class, energy medicine. Awesome class. Awesome. I did that, and after I did that, I went anesthesia, sending anesthesia over at Phoenix and Drugs. They had a Carl Woodward was the instructor on channeling. So I know
Mm-hmm.
how, and I learned how to open up my energy space so that I can hear other people and other entities out there. And my last and this was about 2 years ago. I did life coaching that opened up the avenue for more energy to come through and more space. In this class, I was offered Reiki 1. I did the Reiki 1, 2, and 3. So now I get to teach the class, which is wonderful. I get to give the
Mm-hmm.
gift that keep on giving. That's healing.
Yes. So, do you think everyone can benefit from energy healing?
Everyone can. It's nobody that cannot. Even your animals, your dogs, your cats, if you lay hands on them, they could be healed as well.
Okay.
There's a certain, the easiest way to just to get into it. The first class, I didn't mention it earlier, was polarity therapy. And that's when you align your body with your client's body. You use your positive part of your body to their negative part, and you
Mm-hmm.
got a polarity going. Energy is going between the two, and it will unlock any blocked energy. Any blocked energy in your system will create disease and discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
Ima trauma get locked in there from an early age, from a child. So when I'm working with tuning folks, these are what we call tuning folks. This is a 714 here. I would go into your energy field with this, and when I get a vibration, I realize that we need to do some work there. And so you can hear that. Somebody may be benefiting from this right now,
Me.
but it's blocking and it's unblocking energy that's been stored. It's going into the trauma field. That's how I do my trauma healing work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a lot of more other stuff I use. So shoot the questions and I got an
Share
answer.
something like share about the crystals that you use or the bowls that you use, depending on the client and what you like. There are certain things that you've used for me, or what is in your most recent healing. What has been most common that your spirit led you to do or use that comes up for you?
I always use the crystals because they are very powerful. They have a lot of energy with them that resonate. I wear crystals. I wear stones for the benefit of it. I have here the rose quartz. That's the loving one. That's when I want to bring in some love energy, and it's good for your fourth chakra. And then we have the green for your healing. Your master one, this is this is just a clear quartz. It's called a master quartz. I love quartz with rainbows in them because they have journeys and they tell stories. And this is one of my favorite ones, but it's going to always be in the room when I'm doing healing work. Um, you have the clusters. Um, Amethyst. Amethyst is a really good stone for healing. So if you're in a state and you need some energy and you feel like you want to be healed, but you can't get to a practitioner, then you start wearing your stones. And it is a subtle healing, but literally it will start healing your body. The influence of that energy will. Amethyst looks something like it's purple.
So, are you always
Oh,
led? Are you always led to use cards with different people, or you're not? Now, does it depend on the client?
that's a whole nother that's a whole nother energy I use.
Okay.
Um
So not
and I'm not
always.
always led.
Okay.
You have to be receptive to that.
Correct.
Um it's energy in it. It's energy all around us. And some energies we see and don't see. We have entities around us. So when you pull out your cards, you would have blessed your card, you would have prayed over them,
Mm-hmm.
and it touches when that card touches your energy. And I allow my clients to pull their own card.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's the information they need to know. That's the encouragement they need to know for this particular or that particular situation they may be going through. So
Okay.
yes, from time to time, I would use cards.
Well, of course, I was receptive, so it works for me. I also wanted to know, like, if someone was coming to you or through referral or through the show, do you have what is your intake process, or mm, how would you say they should show up? and what would they be willing to share and all that in the intake process? Because some people may be nervous, of course, afraid, scared, but wanting to be healed. So, in their initial introduction to you or meeting you in the intake process, can you share that?
Sure. Um, Come with an open mind. Come with an expectation to be healed. Come with the the wisdom, your natural bone wisdom that God gave you that something's going to happen. So we're talking about come with intentions that you will be healed today. And don't come with any judgment. Don't come thinking that this is going to happen and that's going to happen, because the healing session is always different. Even with you, I don't think I've done the same thing with you twice.
No.
It's always different. It's always changing. Uh, I I play music. I make you feel very comfortable. I start off with just a cradle rock. I put my hands behind your head, okay? And I just allow my energy to merge with your energy. I want you to feel my energy. I want to feel your energy. I want your energy to know that I'm safe.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll go down, all the way down to your feet, and do the same thing and just hold. From there, I know what I need to do because your energy had start communicating to me. And then I'll move on to either the tuning forks or chakra balancing. You mentioned the healing bows, the tuning bows, the singing bows. I have one that I use, and that's still with the fifth chakra. But you hit the bow, and the tune resonate, and the sound, the vibration. That's what you're working with. Even with this healing, it's a vibration. What people don't realize is we're electrical. Okay, this is electrical energy, so it does have a vibration, and that's a healing vibration. It's an alignment with the universe, alignment with God. And so if anything is blocked, it's unblocked.
Okay. So, have you had any? Well, I'm sure you have, but because we've talked some about the difference in what we grew up in church when it comes to healing versus this type of healing, like in your personal circle. Because as we step out into our purpose, or as we step into what we were created to do, sometimes we experience controversy or challenges. So have you experienced lots of challenges or minimal challenges or indifferences as you walked into your purpose, or what you felt like you should have been doing from a little girl up until now?
Actually, I have not. My challenge has been me.
Okay.
Okay. It wasn't sophisticated enough. It wasn't intellectual enough. I didn't want people to think that I was doing voodoo stuff. And so I stayed away from it. That's why I got so many certificates. I got certificates galore. Everything I do, I'm certified to do it because I wanted that recognition. I wanted
Okay.
to say, yeah, it's a math, it's a science what we're doing. It's just not anything. We are working in a field that has a map in it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I know the map. I know how to get in and get out. I know how to move that energy from this place to that place
Okay.
because I've been trained, and
Mm-hmm.
I can intellectually tell you what's going on in your body, what's happening right now.
Okay.
So my challenge has been me.
Okay. So
Yes,
if it was
wanting to
someone else,
be,
go ahead.
just wanting to be accepted, just want to be recognized as Dr. D.
All right, Dr. D. So, if it was someone else that was trying to get into this work, how would you tell them to start? And also tell us how to find you.
I would tell them to take a Reiki class, Reiki 1. It's a weekend. Do not take it online, because your master needs to be there. She needs to transfer that energy, and it is transferable to you. So that would be the first step. Second would be, Reiki 2. If you want to do energy medicine like I did, it's a year's course and they have now 2 years. I would follow through on that and I would take that. It's just so many different avenues out here. Life coaching. I am a life coach. I am an anger management counselor and specialist, actually. And that class was very, very good for me. So just dig in, see who you are. Number one, not who you think you are, just know who you are, what you want to do, and then do it. Just get more information on it. Do not be a practitioner who's just moving in the dark and don't know what they're doing. That doesn't work.
Right. So can you tell
Yes.
us how to find you? Like give us your company name, the email address, maybe a phone number so that you can be found from here.
Sure. My company is Mindful Evolution, ever growing, ever evolving. That's important. My email is mindfulevolutionllc.com. My telephone number is 678 768 2508.
Well, thank you. I want to thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being a part of my life. You are wonderful. Love you forever. And is there anything else you want to close out with before we go to a commercial break?
Yes, I just want to send you all the love, the light, wish you well, knowing that God got you. And I pray that He continues to surround you with His magnificence and that you continue to grow in His presence. You are a gift to the world and you're just getting started. So I'm going to pray
Yes.
for your blessings to continue to flow to you and to
Thank
the whole
you.
world. We need more peace in this world. We need more love in this world. And it always starts from us. I tell everybody, if you want love, if you want a relationship, be the relationship you want to be. Be the
Yes.
love you want to be. And that's what you're going to attract to you.
Yes. Well, thank you, Miss D. I love you and I will see you soon.
Thank you, my love. Hugs and kisses.
Yes. We'll be back in a moment. What's up, This is Prima with the Just Prima Show. Check me out every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Search Just, Just, Pr1ma, or on Caribbean Life TV. I'd like to give a special shout out to my viewers. I thank you for all the comments, questions, feedback, suggestions, and I also want to say thank you to all my motivators. Stay tuned. See you every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Tune in. All right, y'all. This is Just Prima here. I'm in Such as Georgia. And I came out here to get some fresh air. Today's show is about me and what keeps me grounded, what makes me happy, what helps me flow, and being out in nature, smelling the fresh air. Can you hear the noise? It's not city noise. It's birds. It's bugs chirping. I wanted you to see the mountains. See the mountains? Being out in nature makes me happy. It keeps me grounded. I'm having some good old sweet tea. I didn't always drink sweet tea, although I'm from Atlanta, from the South. But I did want to just show you some things today on this episode that make me happy, that keep me grounded, that keep me cool out of all of the things that I've gone through in life and all of the things that have been stressful, that have been kind of distraction, all of that. This is what helps me. Being outside, connecting with Mother Earth, the beautiful blue sky, the clear blue sky. It's a chance of rain. But I wanted to show you this. And there are some other things that I'm going to show you as the day goes along.
I'll be right back. Whew. Now I'm resting out here in nature, taking a break, rocking in the chair. You know, that's something we do in the South. I don't know what they do up north, but in the South, I'm a little hot. Not hot, but my body is heated. But it's cool out here. It's a little humid. My face is probably red. They're doing some work out here. They're building some yurts that are exciting. I'm looking forward to the cooler time of year where I can spend more time outside, because I don't like being outside when it's really, really hot. But again, I just am showing you things that I do to help me relax, help keep me grounded, keep me calm, which is being in nature, taking time, quiet time. I don't get a whole lot of time to do this. However, when I do, I bask in it, I enjoy it, I look forward to it. And this sweet tea, like I said earlier, is amazing. All right, y'all, it's me again doing something that I like. I love the water, as you can see. This is another place around town that I like to go and sit, put my feet in the water, relax, breathe, ground myself, meditate. There's a lot of people out here, but I'm gonna go across, so I hope I don't fall. Hold on. All right, guys. I was coming out here to show y'all where I like to sit. I just showed y'all some quick videos and clips where I normally come out here and sit. I don't know if it's because it's been raining or the time of year that it is, but what I was trying to show you that it was some snakes out here. And since it's snakes, I'm not getting too comfortable in the water or around the water, because I was told one snake was venomous and something was a copperhead. So I'm gonna use wisdom that the good Lord gave me and get out from over here and show you some other things that I like to do. I'll do that. All right, y'all, I'm gonna show y'all I can climb. I can climb. Let me show y'all what I'm gonna climb up. I'm almost 50. My feet wet too. But I'm doing it. I made it, y'all. All right. Well, I'm sitting up here where it's safe. But normally I come out here, I listen to the water because I love water. Water calms me. I can think. Water is cleansing, refreshing. I can clear my head. So again, I'm just showing you my day out in nature, things that I like to do, places that I come that's in the metro Atlanta area that a lot of people are not aware of. So I'm going to show you a few more places, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hopefully I'll give you some ideas as I continue to share my blood, love, and tears. This is a happy part of my story, the things that keep me going. And I'll be back in a moment. Stretching, breathing, I think that's because the rain is good. What is there? And this is a nice calm place to read. This is at the top of the waterfall. Come read, breathe. I listen to my music. I also like nature trails. I enjoy walking in nature.
This is a place I used to go as a kid with my mother and my family, but continue to go as an adult. It's like really a sanctuary for me. I'll share more as I go. And when I was a kid, we did not have these steps. We were simply going down in dirt, literally. So I guess it's modernized, safer. More people know about it. More people are coming to this particular spot. So I thought I'd show you the difference in what we used to have to come down and what is here now. Modernization. This is another spot that I like to come to, in the same place that I used to frequent with my parents, and particularly my mom. It's a place that I, again, when going through challenges, going through different things in life, especially parenting and early marriage, coming out here was a place that I could come and feel peaceful, remind me of the good old days, the good times where I felt like during my prayer and meditation time, I got answers, I got guidance, and refreshed. So I paused it for a moment because this is just one place that I would come in this particular nature trail. But my favorite place is coming up soon that I'm going to show you, which is where I normally post up. So hopefully it's not a lot of people there today, and I'll be able to show you. Also, I do color therapy, like for my different chakras. And I just thought about it because my nails, my green is to help with my heart chakra and the energy of love, abundance, and all that good stuff. There used to be a time that I would walk through here by myself and the world was a safer place. But it's not so safe now because there are a lot of different people in the world. So it's not the wisest thing to walk down through this nature trail alone, male or female. But I mean, that's 40 plus years that I've been coming out here, and the world has definitely changed in 40 plus years. But this is still a special sanctuary for me for many reasons. This is out here in the sanctuary for me, where I literally come and sit, and hopefully you can hear.
In February of 2007, Anthony walked into his sister's house when he noticed this abnormally petite, heavy figure he was just sick and continued walking. But right when he walked through his residence, Anthony collapsed. They called 911, he was immediately transferred to the hospital for surgery. Anthony suffered from a heart attack, and the doctors had to unclog his arteries considering his pacemaker. He would end up unconscious and bringing the transformation to his other side. It was one of the hardest things Anthony just couldn't do it. Just everything was never connected. He was just
This is one that I finished. I'm glad. It wasn't hard. I love doing word searches. Ah, good job me. Good job me. I completed My son. Good job, me. Completed this word search. It's on shapes, not hard. This is pretty easy for me to do, but it's relaxing. It calms me, and I enjoy it, especially out here with the music of nature. Well, something else I like to do while I'm out here is color. So I'm coloring. I have my lady on here with a yellow dress on, like ocean. I also use my essential oils. Right here I have wild orange. I won't say the brand, but wild orange that I put in my hand. I smell it. I massage it on in different places. I bless my or anoint myself, hoping and believing and praying that I receive everything that I need to receive while out in nature. Laying my body on the ground, my feet planted at times. But this is all relaxation for me. This helps me to focus. This helps me to make decisions. It helps me feel better. It's really therapeutic. So I enjoy being out here. I do think something gets me being out here. I do have snacks. And like I said, sometimes I play my music. But for the sake of not having to say this is not originally my music, I'm not going to play the music right now. Coming here, my mother transitioned years ago, but coming here, I feel like brings me closer to my mom. It allows me to sit out here and talk to her. I believe that I hear back from God, from nature, from my mom. I get answers, I receive answers, and some people think that that's crazy, but for me, it works. Um, I can sit out here and do nothing. I can sit out here and be quiet. I can sit out here and take a nap if somebody's with me. I can cry, I can talk, I can vent. I've done all those things. But this place has definitely been more special since my mom has transitioned. I've brought my children here, my grandchildren, and told them that I hope they come here and think about me. I want to be cremated. So I told my children they can take my ashes or some of them, just sprinkle a little bit out here at this particular place so that I can travel the world through the water. And they'll always have a place to come back and see me or visit me and my spirit visit them or something. So this is, again, a sanctuary for me, a place that I love to come to and would love to come to more often, but with a busy life, a busy schedule, a hectic world, I don't come as often as I would like, but I come as often as I can.
guys, that is it for this episode, To Thine Own Self Be True. I just wanted to share the things that worked for me, that have worked for me for years, that kept me grounded, that got me through all the blood, love, and tears that I've shown you through this first season. Please tune in every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube, JUSTPR1MA, and also on Caribbean Life TV. There's one special thing I'd like to share tonight. On this Saturday at 9 p.m., there's going to be a special episode called Candid Co-ed Conversations, where there'll be men and women. We'll be discussing different topics and just letting you be a part of what I do with my friends and family. See you then.